Sometimes we sell hot dogs, sometimes we sell groceries, and sometimes we help homeless kids get back in school. This is the Department of Education campaign. It wasn't about selling a product on a store shelf. It really was about helping a really difficult challenge that we in the state face. The homeless crisis in Arizona is very serious.
Yeah.
And one of the groups that's most impacted by that are kids. And because they don't have a stable living situation, they also might not have a stable school situation.
This all starts with a program or an act in Arizona that's called the McKinney-Vento Act. And what that does, it's actually been around for a really long time, but not enough people know about it. And the act basically says that if you are a child experiencing homelessness in Arizona, that you have a right to a free and an equal education experience of what your peers are getting. And that goes for not just sitting in the seat in class and getting the curriculum, but you also have the right to be able to participate in after-school activities and sports and field trips and all those things. So these parents of kids, some of them may know about it, a lot of them don't. And so our job was to really tell our message to parents.
Because we're really not talking to the kids in this campaign.
Right.
We're looking for their parents to reassure them why it's important to get their kids back in school.
Yeah, so the whole concept of this was that we're hearing from kids talking to camera, but in this case, conceptually, the camera is supposed to be parents, their parents, and all parents in Arizona, and hearing these kids ask for that help that they need.
Mom, Dad, you've always tried to be there for me, but right now, I need you to raise your hand.
And so some of these lines in the script around, you're not just giving me food to eat, but you're giving me friends to eat it with.
You're giving me food to eat and new friends to eat it with.
All those kinds of comparisons of, yes, you're giving me the basics of what school offers, but you're also opening up all these opportunities for making new friends, getting to play sports. One of the girls in the spot says, you're not just giving me these clothes to wear, or you're giving me these clothes, school clothes, and a chance to play in these ones, as we match cut to her in her basketball uniform.
Yeah. You're giving me clean clothes to wear and a reason to play in these ones.
So again, trying to really just tell that story of, yes, it's curriculum, yes, it's education, but it's also sports and teammates and friends.
And the line on this campaign was?
The line is, raise your hand, lift their future. And so the whole idea, again, that trying to instill that urgency in parents to, all you have to do is raise your hand and tell us that you need help, and we will take it from there. There's a whole network of liaisons around the state and school districts that will, as soon as you as a parent raise your hand for your child and stand up for them, that they can take that child, get them all the things they need, set up their transportation, take care of all the hard work. All we need from you is that overcoming that initial barrier of raising your hand, and it can lift the whole future.
Let's talk about the shoot. It was middle of the summer. We shot at Chandler High School.
Yeah, it was blazing hot. Why do we keep doing so many productions in the summertime? I don't know.
To be fair, it had to be ready for back to
school season,
because you've got to get these kids registered, they've got to get in, and so it was a short timeline, but we had to get it done. So Chandler High School said yes.
Chandler High School said yes. We actually worked with a great director out of New York. Their name was Zen Pace. Zen worked with Mika, their DP partner, and Mika was great. Mika was from Sweden, and he just brought a ton of beautiful cinematography and work to it. And the partnership that they had together was just really fun to watch on set.
They were perfect for a crazy project with kids running around everywhere. How many kids did we have running around that school at one point?
30? We've worked on a lot of education projects, but this one I think had the most kids at once in one space. I love this kind of work because it's so fun to do. A lot of the bar S work, the giant work, selling products and doing those things. But when it comes to the chances to actually make a difference and use advertising and marketing as a way to really shift opinions and educate communities, and when it's in our home state of Arizona, helping parents realize that there's a resource for their kid to get in school, it feels a little different, and it's really powerful. One last thing I wanted to talk about that I thought was cool about this campaign was also the media and the targeting that we did. So in addition to having our spots live on TV and radio and some of the more traditional mediums, we also really wanted to try to highly target our message in places where we thought that these people who are experiencing homelessness might actually be. Really, that idea of meeting people where they are. And in this case, where this audience is not necessarily the same places that a lot of people are. They might be at public libraries. They might be in laundromats to do their laundry for the week. And so our media reach went beyond just the traditional things, and we actually had our advertisements placed in those places, in laundromats, in libraries, shopping malls, places that we knew were open to the public, that were kind of those communal areas that these people would be. So I just thought that was some really creative targeting from our media partners as well, and some of those ideas we had for that.
I think one of my favorite parts of this type of work is we use a phrase, work that works. We know that we have to deliver cash register rings at the grocery store. Bar S is going to judge us on how many hot dogs and corn dogs are sold. This work is judged differently in terms of public awareness that if I'm experiencing homelessness, there is a solution for me. And I think you're literally changing people's lives when they hear that message and realize their kid can stay in school. We're not talking about a cash register. We're not talking about a school lunch. We're talking about really changing the trajectory of someone's life. Really great work from our creative team. I scratch my head randomly. Really great work for the... Really great work from the... All right. I'm not sure why I got it. Really great work from the... Sorry. Okay, you done? Okay, good. Really great work from the creative team here at Heart and Soul. Raise your hand, lift their future. Check it out, Department of Education here in Arizona.